Can assessment truly capture the potential of every child? Or are we still measuring only marks? Today, let us explore how the holistic progress card is redefining assessment in primary education. Namaskar, dear educators. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to discuss a very significant initiative in school education, that is the Holistic Progress Card or HPC. Assessment is no longer just about marks and report cards. It is now about understanding the complete journey of a child, their strengths, interests, competencies, attitudes, skills, and overall development. In this session, we will explore how the Holistic Progress Card transforms assessment from being merely an evaluation tool into a powerful instrument for nurturing every learner. So let's begin our journey towards more meaningful, child-centric and competency-based assessment. Now this slide introduces us to the concept of the Holistic Progress Card. The Holistic Progress Card is a comprehensive assessment framework designed specially for primary learners. Traditionally, report cards focused primarily on academic achievement. However, HPC recognizes that children possess multiple talents, abilities and learning styles. यह केवल अंक देने की प्रक्रिया नहीं है, बल्कि बच्चे की संपूर्ण प्रगति को समझने का एक माध्यम है. The objective is to capture the child's growth across cognitive, social, emotional, ethical and physical dimensions. As educators, our goal is not merely to produce high scorers, but to nurture confident, capable and compassionate learners. This reminds us for a very important principle: all children are unique and have a different way and pace of learning. Some children grasp concepts quickly, while others require more time and support. कुछ बच्चे गतिविधियों के माध्यम से बेहतर सीखते हैं, जबकि कुछ दृश्य सामग्री या चर्चाओं के माध्यम से. HPC acknowledges these differences through three major ideas. First, unique paces, moving beyond rigid timelines. Second, diverse learning ways, respecting multiple learning styles and cognitive approaches. Third is comprehensive growth, valuing the whole child beyond academics. As teachers, this encourages us to shift from comparison to appreciation and from standardization to personalization. Teachers, I must tell you that this video which I am making is on a special request by few of my teachers, not only from Prayagraj but other APS schools as well. So just to explain the concept and the changes made in the Holistic Progress Card, I am making this, and I am thankful for my teachers who encourage me to do such things. Here, as we see how assessment varies across primary classes, for classes 1 and 2, which belong to the foundational stage, assessment is conducted across 6 core domains of development. यहाँ ध्यान बच्चे के समग्र विकास पर होता है, ना कि केवल विषय ज्ञान पर. For classes 3 to 5 belonging the preparatory stage, assessment becomes more subject specific and competency based. Formal mark distribution is introduced gradually to help learners transition smoothly into higher classes. This progression ensures that assessment remains age appropriate, supportive and developmentally aligned. For educators, this means designing classroom experiences that suit the developmental needs of learners at every stage. This slide beautifully represents the concept of educating the whole child. Holistic development includes 6 domains, and all these 6 domains are there for in the holistic progress card for classes 1 and 2 specifically. All these domains are mentioned, and there are subdomains, or we can say the competencies, for which you have to give the grades, and the level of grades are beginner, then progressive and proficient. So like this you have to give the grades in each of the category. Now let's try to understand the different domains. Now the first domain is of the physical development, which includes hygiene, balance and coordination. Moving ahead, now let's see domain 2, which is socio-emotional and ethical, involving recognizing emotions, empathy and kindness. Domain 3 is cognitive development, which includes curiosity and environmental awareness. Next is domain 4, which is language and literacy, which contains phonological awareness, creative writing, reads with comprehension. So all these heads are there in domain 4. Now coming to domain 5, it is aesthetic and culture, where art materials, movement, teamwork, everything is included. Then comes the domain 6, which is positive learning habits, where focus, classroom norms, these things are included in domain 6. So हमारा उद्देश्य केवल विषय पढ़ाना नहीं है, बल्कि एक संतुलित, संवेदनशील और आत्मविश्वासी नागरिक तैयार करना है. Now let's talk about the assessment breakup for language learning. This is under the formative assessment. The formative assessment has been broken down into these 5 heads. Although the formative assessment is of 20 marks, but yes, here first we are going to get it done for 50 marks, and then it will be converted into 20 marks, for which in all the APSs Excel sheet is being given, and if we are going to put the marks out of 50, it will automatically convert it to 20 marks. So here reading and comprehension carries 10 marks, writing skills carries 10 marks, grammar is allotted 10 marks, literature is given 10 marks again, and vocabulary also contributes 10 marks. Thus, a total of 50 marks are divided systematically. After combining with formative assessment, 20 marks become the final language assessment score. इस प्रकार भाषा शिक्षण केवल पाठ्य पुस्तक तक सीमित नहीं रहता, बल्कि संप्रेषण कौशल, अभिव्यक्ति तथा शब्द भंडार के विकास को भी महत्व दिया जाता है. Similarly, for maths and EVS, again we have to make a paper or do the formative assessment covering all these heads, each of 10 marks. We have to give the syllabus and evaluate, try to assess, not evaluate, try to assess the learners, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing and creating abilities. And then this test will be of 50 marks again, which will be converted into 20 marks, and finally it will be given in the holistic report card. Again, the Excel sheet is already prepared by APS, which will be circulated in all the APSs, so that there is no hustle while converting 50 marks to 20 marks. So let us understand. Class 1 and 2, the formative assessment will be conducted out of 50 marks. Different heads are to be covered under language and EVS and maths, which will be again converted into 20 marks and then into grades, because for classes 1 and 2 there is no mark system. We just have to give them grades. So beginner, progressive and proficient. These three are the grades which are to be given to the learners. For classes 3 to 5, the formative assessment is to be conducted of 50 marks, and then it has to be converted into 20 marks. Teachers, educators, you can conduct the paper, written paper, so that the children are in the practice of writing as per your choice, or since it is a formative assessment, you can conduct it in a formative way. But yes, keep in mind what head are you covering. जो head आप cover कर रहे हो उससे आपकी activity align होनी चाहिए. अगर आप write with purpose करा रहे हो तो writing कराना ज़रूरी है. It cannot be taken in any other way. So you just have to, whatever your school is guiding, please follow that. It can be a written examination of 50 marks, but since the word formative is added, then in that case you can conduct it in your own way. But remember, yes, the learner has to be benefited and their writing practice is to be also maintained. Here we can see the competencies that are expected to be developed through different subjects. In languages, learners are assessed on listening, comprehension, reading, accuracy, conversation, fluency, grammar, and creative writing. For the maths, it focuses on conceptual understanding, procedural ability, spatial relationships, problem solving, and critical thinking. In environmental science, it contains of observation, environmental awareness, scientific temperament, and fact identification. And the holistic and co-scholastic areas are the computer aptitude, physical coordination, exploration, empathy, and emotional regulation. So these are the competencies which are mentioned in the holistic report card for classes 3 to 5. For classes 1 and 2, I have already explained all the 6 domains which were having subjects also. But yes, there for the formative assessment, I have discussed it is to be conducted in the same way for classes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But yes, the marks are to be given differently as the grades are for class 1 and 2, but marks specifically are for classes 3 to 5. Let us now understand the assessment pattern. The total assessment comprises of 100 marks. 20 marks are allocated to formative assessment, which I have told how it is to be conducted, which includes projects, observation, class participation, activities, and daily competency tracking. 80 marks are reserved for the summative assessment. So summative assessment, as per APS, whatever the guidelines will come, we will discuss it in the next video. So till now, we will just be focusing on the formative assessment. So यह जो व्यवस्था है वो केवल परीक्षा आधारित मूल्यांकन को महत्व नहीं देती है, बल्कि पूरे वर्ष की सीखने की जो प्रक्रिया है उसको भी सम्मान देती है. Continuous assessment helps teachers identify learning gaps at an early stage and provide timely support. For the teachers, formative assessment becomes a powerful tool for enhancing classroom engagement and learner confidence. One of the most innovative aspects of HPC is the 360-degree feedback mechanism, which is there in the report card of classes 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 as well. So assessment is no longer limited to teachers alone. Teachers' profile includes classroom observations, rubrics, and anecdotal records, where the teacher will be telling about the learner in few words. This time in APS report cards, the word limit has been increased. Now comes the self-assessment, which encourages learners to reflect upon their own learning journey. Peer assessment allows students to learn collaboratively and appreciate each other's strengths. Parent assessment captures valuable insights from home experiences. यह दृष्टिकोण बच्चे की प्रगति की अधिक वास्तविक और संतुलित तस्वीर प्रस्तुत करता है. When teachers, students and parents work together, assessment becomes meaningful and transformative. So here is the grading criteria. If the paper is out of 100 and if it is out of 20, I was talking about mainly 20 because that 20 marks which is given in the formative assessment to classes 1 and 2 is again going to be converted into grades. For classes 1 and 2, whatever marks they have been allotted out of 20, although the Excel is going to do its work, but if the schools are not getting it, they can have this rubric. If the learner is getting below 7, it will be categorized under beginner. If the marks are between 8 to 15, it is progressive. And if the marks are between 16 to 20, the learner will fall under proficient category. And the beginners need additional guidance, intervention and encouragement. यह ग्रेडिंग सिस्टम लेबल्स बच्चों को नहीं करती बल्कि उनके सीखने की अवस्था को दर्शाती है. Our responsibility as educators is to help every learner move forward confidently. As we conclude, the holistic progress card represents a significant shift in educational philosophy. It fosters unique learning paces, it nurtures the whole child, and it builds a colorful canvas of growth. For educators, HPC offers an opportunity to make assessment more inclusive, competency-based and learner-friendly. Let us move beyond marks and focus on meaningful learning experiences, because every child deserves recognition not only for what they score but for who they are becoming. Thank you for watching. If you found this session useful, do share it with your fellow educators and continue working together towards creating classrooms where every child can thrive. Jai Hind.